2 weeks from now, the country will mark a somber anniversary. It'll be 2 years since the murder of George Floyd by a police officer on a Minneapolis street, an act that was caught on video and led to an awakening of activism among millions in America and around the globe. Plenty of celebrities added to the chorus of voices for police reform. For many, 2020 summer of protest was the first time they became politically active. But not for actor Wendell Pierce. You know Pierce. He currently stars in Jack Ryan on Amazon Prime as Ryan's boss and mentor, James Greer. Before that, he played a high-powered attorney on Suits. But he gained fame with his role in the HBO series The Wire, in which he played Bunk Moreland, a cynical Baltimore detective who investigates murders while contending with a dysfunctional police force helping destroy the very communities it oversees. In real life, Pierce is also a politically outspoken activist who fundraised for Barack Obama, helped to rebuild his native New Orleans after Hurricane Katrina, and has worked to bring supermarkets to food deserts in poorer communities. And in the wake of George Floyd's death, Pierce has called out structural racism and pushed for reforms to the police.
I listen to people say, this is not who we are. And there's a duality in that. This is not who we are because this is not who we aspire to be. But this is not who we are because we haven't gotten there yet. That wonderful mosaic of a democratically self-ruled republic, that utopic idea that we have, is not who we are.
When critics told Pierce, yeah, but you got famous for playing a cop on The Wire, he would reply, you must not have watched the show. The Wire, Pierce says, avoided being propaganda by depicting the dysfunction and racism of modern policing in America. Quote, I think now in this racial reckoning and this cry for police reform, it is so profound that people are going back now and watching The Wire with a new eye to understand. Pierce is now looking at America with a new eye too, after living and working abroad for the past few years. Beginning in 2019, Pierce starred as Willy Loman in a London stage production of Death of a Salesman that deepens the story's tensions by portraying the Loman family as black and all the other characters as white. And earlier this month, the producers announced that the show will be coming to Broadway next season, with Pierce reprising the role that he calls the American Hamlet. What a homecoming that will be. And Wendell Pierce, actor and activist, joins me now. Thank you so much for coming on the show. It's a real pleasure to have you on the show.
The pleasure is mine. It's an honor, really. I'm a big fan of the show and your voice and the truth that you put out there every day. And that was just so moving. That homecoming is very special for me.
It is very special, and we're so pleased for you, and we're so pleased you can join us. It's a great moment. Sorry to get more somber and more emotional, but we're nearing the second anniversary of George Floyd's death, and it was such a watershed moment for a lot of Americans, especially black Americans. It was a real awakening for a lot of Americans, especially white Americans. But do you think it's changed America at all? Has it changed you or your outlook on America?
You know, the America that I want to see, and the America that I think a majority of people want to see, as I said in that intro, is aspirational. And we have to avoid this idea that that it will be some end game. There has to be a continuum. We have to understand that this is a continuum because it's an ugly part of human nature that we are contending with, this ugly part of human nature that embraces racism, that is compelled to oppress people, that's compelled to feel as though they are better than others, and who feel as though they can rationalize violence and take someone's life, as we saw 2 years ago.
Yes.
That's a battle we're continually having to fight. And so I tell people all the time that the change happens as the veil is lifted sometimes, and then it descends again over our eyes, and we forget what's necessary. We had an awakening 2 years ago around the world. And the one thing I knew was it was going to be a window of time for us to advocate for a change. And like all windows, they open, but they also close. And we see those who do not have our best interests at heart closing that window, using that time to close the window, understanding it's human nature that people sort of forget and step away from it, and using that time to memorialize in law opportunities to make sure to keep that window shut. And we have to continue to do the same to make sure that we advocate to open people's eyes and remind them of the advocacy that we found 2 years ago.
Well said. And Wendell, I have to ask about your experience of coming back to America at this time in this country's history after living abroad. I came here from the UK 7 years ago. I'm now an American citizen. I still find, for example, the American cultural fetish for guns and violence so strange. What has it been like for you, having grown up here, lived here, then gone abroad and then come back?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It was an awakening for me. I realized it's not even conscious. It's an unconscious thing. I felt a sort of liberation when I was doing the play in London. As we're leaving a pub in the middle of the night, a young lady says, "Let me go to the tube." I'm riding home. I said, "Let me walk you." And she would say, "No, I'm fine." And I'm like, "Oh, you can't walk in the middle of the night to go to the tube." She said, "Oh, that's right. You're American. You're American. So your fear is justified." That's what she was saying in that moment. "Your concern about me is justified because of our culture." Now, we have to understand what culture is. Culture is that intersection, that literal intersection between people and how we deal with life. And in America, we have a violent culture, right? Our intersection with life is violent. And we see it in gun culture, especially gun violence. That is, unfortunately,
yes,
the way that we deal with conflict resolution. I was working in Budapest for the past year and a half, and I remember a colleague letting his daughters walk home, and he just followed them on his iPhone. And to see a preteen and a teen walk across a major European city for a couple of blocks, where the parent can feel comfortable because they were about to go online at 8 o'clock at night to school in California. I can't even imagine that in any American city, And our unique intersection and culture and gun violence is our inability to have conflict resolution without it. We have 120 guns to every 100 person here in America. And I think the second country is something like 20 or 25. That's the thing that's so disturbing. But just like all culture, it can change. And that's where we come in as artists. Laws change behavior.
On the topic of culture, you mentioned culture. You've been outspoken in your criticism of police procedurals and propaganda in the world of art. And it's true that your detective in The Wire is deeply critical of American law enforcement. But then you have, for example, the Jack Ryan series, which I enjoy watching. I love shows like that. But let's be honest. They glorify violence too, and the CIA. How responsible do you think our film and TV culture are for also fetishizing violence in America? And how do you navigate those waters as an artist?
Being on Jack Ryan, I wouldn't say we completely fetishize it. The reason being, I would hope that there's an ability in our human perceptiveness to realize when something is not just extraordinary, but almost improbable. And when you look at superheroes and our show, there's an improbability of the level of violence. Jack Ryan can take on 1,000 men and come away with a scratch over his eye. There's an improbability there, right?
Yes.
That I would hope that we would have the ability to discern the difference. The thing that I'm proud of with Jack Ryan is I actually did the research and met with retired African-American CIA officers. And I asked them, I said, with the history of the agency, what allows you to be an officer as an African-American officer, And I said, I even brought up Malcolm X, the pursuit the CIA did overseas, Malcolm X when he was on his Hajj, Peace Lumumba. And he said, well, we would fight racism, right, Wendell? I said, yes. He said, I just chose to fight it within the CIA instead of outside of the CIA. He said, I have that same impulse. He says, what allows you to say that you can be an American with the history that this country has towards our community, right? You fight that because you understand what American values are, and you understand that we're pursuing a more perfect union. So that's the thing that allows me to do that on Jack Ryan. because I try to bring that sensibility to James Greer.
We're going to have to. I'm so sad to jump in. We're out of time. I could have this conversation for another 10, 20, 30 minutes with you. Wendell Pierce, I'm going to get you back on the show because we have way more to talk about. Thank you so much for coming on today. Congratulations on the play coming to Broadway.